of chapter number 15 that first he is giving the motivation. So from verse number 1 to 6, including the second verse, is where he is describing about the problems, the challenges of this material nature. And then we can see how in the second verse itself that he, first of all, he takes the example of this banyan tree, and then banyan tree which is upside down. Okay. Now there can be we can try to understand. Acharya has explained that that upside down of the meaning of this upside down of the banyan tree is that it's a reflection of something original. It's not the original, it's not the real thing, but it is a reflection of the original. Okay, that's why it is upside down. Second thing we can see is that with the explanation of this from verse number 1 to 5, it sounds very complicated, and that's by purpose. That this whole system, the whole material world is very complicated. It's not very easy. It's not something where you can easily navigate through. Okay? You have to understand. That's where this wonderful verse from fourth chapter, karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmana akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. So karmano hyapi bodhavyam, there are three types of actions or activities. One is called karma, the second is called vikarma, and the third one is called akarma. So this particular verse is saying gahana karmano gati. It's very complicated. It's not easy to understand the results of these. So we can try to see what all these three activities are. So karma is something which is a pious activity. Okay. So how can we understand? So here in this particular purport, Sri Prabhupada is saying that there are different levels of species. So here its branches. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities such as human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, etc. Okay? So there are generally our 14 planetary system is divided into three broad categories. Those are that upper planetary system, then our earthly planetary, and then the lower planetary system. And in the upper planetary system, it is that you are enjoying the fruits of your good karma. Karma is can be translated as good deeds, good activities. For example, somebody is engaged in philanthropic activities. Someone is making ashrama for old age, ashrama for orphans, orphanage, hospitals, distributing blankets, foods, all those things, doing some good work. So what does that do? That gives you the positive points. Now, once you have positive points, you have to enjoy. It's like, we earn money and then we go to Disneyland to, for some vacation, or some other places for vacation. So that's like, you earn money and then you're going there to spend it. So that is called, that can be used to understand, this analogy can be used to understand that somebody who is doing the good deeds is going to the upper planetary system to enjoy the fruits of, or the results of that good deed. But as we can see that once that once the balance is over of the good deeds, one has to come back to uh, again the earthly planetary system, or go through this um, 8.4 million you know species of life, and then take birth as human being, and then from there again endeavor. So there is this four problems of this mrityu loka. All these 14 planetary systems, uh, even though they are of the different level, they all have the same problem: janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. There is a birth, there is old age, there is a disease, and there is death. So it's not even by the good deeds, good karma, one is not transcending. No. Um, then second type of karma which is explained here is Vikarmana. Vikarmana is that uh, bad activities. So for the bad activities, one has to suffer. Just like, if you break some law, you have to go to different part of the society. You have to go into, prison houses. You have to go through some kind of suffering, some kind of punishment. So that can be understood by Vikarma. So what can be categorized as Vikarma? Giving pain to somebody, some living entity, just being nuisance to the society. Um, those kind of acts, those kind of activities can be categorized as Vikarmana. And even those activities are binding. And those has to be binding. Good activities are binding, so what to speak of the bad activities? And then you have to, one who is going through this or doing the Vikarma will also have to take birth and uh, enjoy the fruits, or rather suffer the uh, result of those activities. Then there is this third category, akarmana. Akarmana is something which is the things which are done for the Supreme Personality of God, the services, all the sevas. And then there is no limit to. There are broad categories defined by Acharya Shastra, uh, that what are, but devotees engage in these 9 broad categories, which are called Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So that's these are the this is also called Navadha Bhakti. And any activity, which is in the category of this can be uh, categorized as akarmana, and then is non-binding. What does that means? Non-binding is that if one is having akarmana, or the activities which sufficient balance of akarmana, then one can transcend the 4 problems of this material world. That's Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. And then can go back to Godhead, back to Vaikuntha planets, all the way to Goloka Vrindavan. So that's very important to understand. Now we can go a little more deeper into this akarmana section of the activities. That is that, for example, today is Ekadashi, and all the Vaishnavas are observing a fast on this day, minimally from grains and beans, for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that you can actually increase the activities which are related to devotion by and instead of wasting time into cooking and related cleaning. So there are different types of fastings which is being performed by uh, many sections of the society. You know? But uh, those actually are uh, cannot earn you any good points, any akarma points. For example, there are different diets. There is some vegan diet, there is some keto diet, there is some other intermittent fasting diet, some uh, Santoshi Ma Vrat, this that all that is there. And then some of those will have one type of benefit versus the other type of benefit. Um, for example, some may have health benefits, some may have some karma kind of benefit. For example, if somebody fasts and says that, okay, today I'm going to uh, donate my share of food to the uh, disadvantaged section of the society and let that person enjoy that food versus I enjoy. So that's definitely some philanthropic. So that's karma, but it's binding. But at the same time, same fasting, but if it is dovetailed as devotional service and is actually performed or done for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then that is actually uh, that is actually becomes a karma. Then uh, we can actually we see that there are different types of musics people enjoy, but music related to Krishna, some kind of kirtan or bhajan. There's so many wonderful, uh, you know, songs written by Vaishnava acharyas, and then if one is listening to and then enjoying that suddenly the act of listening that simple song becomes comes into the category of karma. Comes in the category of shravana. The discussion we all could have been at a different place, different doing different things, but because we are here engaged in our supreme, so nicely engaged by Simeshwar Prabhu in the reading and discussion of Bhagavad Gita. So this is actually counting as akarma. It's very simple. There is not there is not much difference in um, what one does day to day in day to day life versus just by dovetailing same thing can be actually um, can become Krishna conscious activity. This is something which was kind of eye opener to me. I remember many years back I asked this question to Madhupati Prabhu when we used to have our sangha in MVCC, and that's like aha moment, a wow moment, something where it becomes very clear that um, um, his answer around this was that, okay, if you have trying to understand akarma, that we everyone in the society, generally people go out to do some kind of work to earn the livelihood, bread and butter, and then take the take the fruit of it, take the paychecks, and then buy some, pay rent, buy some food stuff, for the family, buy some security, buy some safety for the family, and then enjoy. So that's a normal regular activity. But you bring that same thing. What a devotee does is, devotee has a nice, small, big, depending on, the situation and the strength, some kind of altar at home, and then is maintaining that, engaging the family in serving of that, serving of the deities. Um, Devotees go, and then, I see, call their houses also as that it's not my house, this is Krishna's house. This is Radha Vrindavan Chand house, this is Gopalji's house, this is uh, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra's Niwas. So devotees dedicate that house, and then um, after that, when they go to office, with that mood that this is not my house, this is Krishna's house, and then I'm going to office now so that I can earn some Lakshmi, and then use that towards payment of the mortgage or the rent, uh, and then get some bhoga, and then offer it to Krishna, and then enjoy the food, prasadam. Suddenly, that act of going to office, that same act of cooking, the same act of taking, uh, honoring prasadam, it, from the outside, if you see, it looks very simple, but it has become suddenly a devotional service, act of devotional service. It's as simple as that. Prabhupada says that bhakti is so simple that you can miss it. It's so simple that you cannot. It's so simple to do. Just the dovetailing, just the mood with which, the consciousness with which you are actually performing that. Acharya say that that consciousness has a great impact. Um, there are so many things on which whose potency, or which potency increases just by the consciousness. Um, this is in we see that if we are having some kind of medical issue, some suffering, many times I have experienced this. Just when I book an appointment with doctor, I start feeling better. In medical terms, they it's called placebo effect. That doctor sometime just gives sugar balls, telling that these are the actual medicines, and this will act as this will cure your disease, and then the person who takes it will start feeling better, will actually become better, start feeling healthier. And where is that strength coming from? That strength is coming from the consciousness, the faith, the belief that yes, this thing is something which is going to work for me. Same thing is said for the shastra, that's called astha. Same thing is said for sadhu sangha, yagya, our pad sevanam, visit to the temple or some dham. The potency of these things depend on how much faith we have, surrender to, and then faith in Guru. The more faith we have in Guru, the more benefit we derive from. It's all proportional. In the mathematic terms, it's called. It's equally proportional. So you can say that these things, devotional service, especially bhakti, is the benefit derived is directly proportional to the amount of faith we have. That's why it's also said that in the to make progress in bhakti, first you have to have adhav shraddha. That the base is shraddha, the the faith, the belief that yes, this thing is going to work for me. Okay. So I wanted to actually highlight that. And then Krishna goes on, and then first he sets up the mood that this particular this world, material world, is a reflection, and then kind of uh, setting up the motivation that why this is not the right place. Okay. And then he tells that okay, if you transmigrate, then what you get, um, the liberation from the mode of material nature. And then he actually talks about himself, and he starts talking about uh, because he's in the verse number 12 to um, 12 to 20, he's actually talking that how he's helping. He says that I am the Chandrama who is actually giving juices to the fruit, and all those things. And then verse number 16 to 18 is the essence of the, it's also called, very important verses, Tri Shloki Gita, where Krishna is actually establishing the Sambandha, Sambandha part of it. We'll discuss that once we get there. And then 19 and 20 are the Abhideya Gyan and then Prayojana. So, I think it's 7:46, so we can stop here and then see if there are any questions, discussion, comments, corrections which we want to take up. Okay. Not sure. Looks like no questions. So, Simeshwar Prabhu, over to you in that case. I think sometimes Prabhuji is traveling during this time.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Vinod Pranam, or Gursha Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful class. You nicely explained the practical application of bhakti, how we can detach from this material world. And that's the essence of this chapter. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, dear devotees. Like to add any reflections or realizations, comments, any questions? Please go ahead. Today is an auspicious day of Ekadashi, and have some discussions. Please go ahead. Do you have any? Nobody has anything to add? Yeah. May I ask some questions?
Really, you'll have to answer that too, Prabhuji, but let's see.
Yeah. So we are going through this chapter. And Krishna is saying that this basically yoga of the Supreme. This chapter is titled as the Yoga of the Supreme, or the Purushottama Yoga. Many times when people passes away, so it's recommended that to chant, to recite this chapter basically. We have some idea about why, any specific reasons.
Hmm.
Usually at the funerals and when the person dies, passes away, this is the chapter people recite, 15th chapter Purushottama Yoga.
Um, I'm taking guess, Prabhuji. Is it because these last five verses are kind of summarizing, the 16th, 17th, 18th is the three shloki Gita, and then 18th, 19th, and 20 are actually uh, how you achieve and what you achieve. Is that the reason?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I was thinking, um, this chapter reveals and focus more on the relationship between the Atma and the Supreme Lord, the Purushottama, the Supreme Lord. So when the chapter mentions about our relationship, we are who are we? Then further explains about the senses and the mind, and comes to the 15th chapter, 15th verse, mentions about where this all mind, intelligence, remembrance, forgetfulness all comes, and then what is ultimate of the essence or the ultimate perfection of the existence of the human life. So this way, what I was thinking, that even the spirit soul passes the body, at least could hear even at the last minute this very essential verses or transcendental knowledge, so that at least by hearing this itself, one can liberate. I mean, that I was thinking, I didn't see any specific, references anywhere in the script, somewhere. Yeah, maybe it's just they started to use like that, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful point, Prabhuji. Um, because it's from verse number 6 onwards, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and the entire chapter, every verse is beautiful, but Krishna is actually describing about his dharma, that it's not illuminated by sun or moon or fire, you know, and yad gatvana nivartante tad dhamma paramam mama, that verse, and then telling that the jivas are the um, anshas of me. Mamai Vansho Jivaloke, Jivabhuta Sanatana. They are the eternal fragments of me. So these are wonderful verses. And so, Krishna giving more and more reason that why one should work towards transcending. And, yeah, thinking about Prabhupada is actually in this purport he explains that you can actually um, piety and impiety is actually driven by the uh, attachment and aversion. Okay? And in the verses, Krishna is trying to give points about attachment and that how and then why.
Yep. Yeah. So beautiful. It's going through those verses from beginning to end. Supreme Lord very clearly explains about all the science. What is all what we see? He says, I enters into the sun, so sun dissipate, enters into each and every living entity so that they get the energy. Yeah, so beautiful, very nicely mentioning about it. I am the fire of digestion,
Yeah.
and in the bodies of all living entities, I join the air life, outgoing and incoming. The Supreme Lord seated in everyone's heart. Yeah. So finally, Krishna says that whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engaged himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. And last, Krishna says, this is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. Wow.
Yeah.
This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. Whoever knows Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting,
Yeah.
knower of everything.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where Prabhuji, that the point which I was trying to make was on the proportion of faith, that it's reading that okay, yes, like in the anyone who comes to ISKCON in the very first lecture, one thing is very clear, that uh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. That's the first sentence, that's the crux that person will actually take away. But after that, it's uh, all about this verse, the last verse, that unwavering, complete faith, that is being built, day by day. The practice is to have the complete faith, complete dependence, that yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And that asta, that shraddha, that belief is the main thing which we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, wonderful. Very nice. Sometimes we don't value the Krishna consciousness or the opportunity that we have with us and what we go through every day. We take it everything granted, but think about a situation where hundreds of years ago, people were very hardly, they were just getting one copy of Bhagavad Gita for entire village, that only may have some Brahmins around there, they may have some copies. And anything that which in relationship with like Srimad Bhagavatam or anything that Bhagavata, recitation or Katha, is very rarely people used to get it, very rarely.
Okay.
And one who has received it, they were very fortunate that time, If somebody was initiated that time, means he's pretty much completely, focused on the Supreme. And he has very rare opportunity, but he eagerly, walked towards all over the places even just to get it. Maybe he must have walked miles and miles and miles and miles just to have an association. That the devotees from Bengal, they walked almost how many miles? They it take a month to reach to Jagannath Puri. So there was a big procession just to meet and hear from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was every year was going on. Devotees were walking from Bengal to Vrindavan to have the association of devotees because of its supreme Param Dham. Here we have not to even move an inch from our home. We don't need to walk even a step. Everything is on the fingertips in front of us,
yeah,
and it's easily available. And then what we do, and we take it everything granted, and we say, "Oh wow, this we don't see much value in it." So that is a wrong attitude. So even little bit or anything that which we hear or the association or the opportunity that we have should highly value that, because this is a mercy of the Lord that we have this opportunity,
yeah,
that we are the mercy of not only the Lord, mercy of the Lord empowers the spiritual masters and the devotees like Srila Prabhupada and these sages. They're coming and staying in our home. These great personalities. Still, we don't see much value to them. Yeah, 3 times, 4 times they come. Yeah, Maharaj come. How do we serve? How do we offer? How do we serve devotees? How do we see scriptures? How do we hear? Those days, people are very attentively heard this, very attentively. Because of they knew that this is the absolute science. What we do now, we don't hear properly, we don't serve properly, we don't everything. We take it very granted and take it very easy, and yeah, this is so. Actually, we minimize the value of all this. So that is also our. It's also one, first of all, as an offense, but also that's also our decay of our spiritual consciousness.
right.
We should be extremely, extremely uh, focused and extremely attentive to hear any service to the devotees and the Vaishnavas, very cautious and very attentive and very focused, and also very much, um, you know, selfless, selfless motive of everything. That is very first quality that we need to have in order to progress, serve, serve the deities, spiritual master, and the Vaishnavas very attentively. That's the process, and then such one can quickly achieve the results of the spiritual process. Some people comments and say, I'm there for 20 years, 25 years, I don't have a taste for chanting the holy name. That's our problem. That's really our problem, because of we are so much, even though everything is nearby, everything, so we don't see much value. But that's not what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down, established this Sankirtan Yagya, Yuga Dharma is that to everyone should have. This is what is exactly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, the 26 quality, to develop 26 qualities in each and every Vaishnava. Each and every Vaishnava should develop these 26 qualities. And only we can say I'm a devotee. Otherwise, I'm not a devotee. And we are overall carrying with all our demoniac qualities. So unless we come to that 26 quality, that's exactly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted. And that exactly Srila Prabhupada wanted. Srila Prabhupada started this League of Nations in 1945. And Srila Prabhupada put that in writing, that every devotee who is in association with the League of Devotees should have all these qualities of a devotee or a Vaishnava. So Srila Prabhupada expected that from each and every devotee. So it's very important that we take this seriously, sincerely, and selflessly. That yield, yeah, wonderful, wonderful, you know, progress in the spiritual path. Thank you, dear devotees. Today is Ekadashi, and very nice to be together, discuss the Bhagavad Gita, the supreme knowledge. So thank you so much. And we would conclude. If there is nothing else, anybody would like to add anything? Any reflections? It's an open forum. Anybody can speak, anybody can say their realizations, and they can speak. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees. I think everybody is taking fast, so that may be a little tired. And
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
yeah, Ribhu, how
Yeah.
are you?
So, yeah, good, Prabhu. How are you, Prabhu?
Thank you.
Yeah. I have one question, Prabhu. So, I am surrounded by people who are very irresponsible. And if we say something, they will not at all listen. For example, our Gosala workers. So we are saying to do clean up the Gosala, and they're not at all listening and they're not taking a responsibility, even though we're paying them monthly without any missing. So the service they're doing is a wonderful service. That is a go cow seva, but they are not giving 100%. And even though we're telling, it's not happening, Prabhu. So how to make people responsible in these kind of activities, and how to work with them. So just looking for your advice to improve our Gosala condition.
It's a management issue, Guruji.
Okay, it's only, you will say, management issue. Okay.
Yeah, because
Mhm,
yeah, it's a management issue because
mhm,
yeah, I mean it's very difficult, right? I mean, if somebody is not performing their job well, or you know,
mhm,
you have to find a way to do things properly. Maybe they may be looking for some more money, or
mhm.
maybe looking for some more appreciation or recognition, or who knows, whatever what they why they are not doing it. Yeah, I mean, we don't know, right? We cannot compare with apples and oranges, right?
Mhm.
So the devotee level devotees. So we are mentioning about the devotee and devotional activities, and the services must be in such a way that should be very properly executed, sincerely and selflessly. Yes, I mean, we cannot expect this material world. We cannot expect that from outside world. That's why we can see that all this decay of in everything,
Yeah,
behavior, character, and attitude, activities. There are interactions and the way the people behave. If they talk something and do something, they stab from behind and the front. This is the world. This is the material world.
yeah, true.
What we can expect. So yeah, I mean, even if it's even everything is covered by impurities in this world, everything, you know. So there is no pure or purity or sincerity in can't expect from this material world. That's the nature of it, because of it's covered by these three modes of material nature. Some are in the mode of ignorance, some are in the mode of passion, some are in the mode of goodness. So they behave accordingly. So yes, I mean, all that we can show to them is actually our good qualities, our devotional qualities, so that some way or other, someday or another, they would appreciate that, and they would show that. And that doesn't mean that if somebody is trying to cheat us, that we should allow to cheat us continuously. If they are not doing well, you appoint other people, or you take other people, or if they are not doing their job well, get other people or some other people to do that the same job. And you put conditions and you say that this is what is my expectation, and if not, and then you'll be also, this is the management thing, do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that make sounds good, Prabhu. Actually, from past 1 year, very patiently, I'm telling to them. So they're not changing their mind and attitude, and I'm not seeing what I am saying. So yeah, as you suggested, better I will change the person. So because there is other Gosala where I see very nice pujas are happening, and our ISKCON devotees are doing Goseva morning and evening. So it's really nice to see that Gosala. Just I would like to do the same in our thing also with people, local people support is required. So yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for your suggestion and blessing.
Yeah. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody would like to add anything? Comments, reflections? Okay. Okay. So nothing else. Then let's conclude today's section. Thank you so much, Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu. Wonderful class. And thank you, dear devotees, for joining. We'll be also having book distribution call. And don't forget, this Saturday, we'll be having book distribution activities at the Papayani Park. Papayani Park, right on the Route 27 and the Talmage, the corner. Every year they do conduct beautiful Dasara festival. And this Saturday is going to be the Dasara festival over there, and they expect a lot of people. I mean, usually like around um, 10,000 people or something. That's what they say. But yeah, there is a lot of crowd, and there's also our wonderful opportunity to talk to the people, distribute Bhagavad Gita somehow or other. They get it, and somehow or other down the road, they will read or transform themselves and pick up or take up this Krishna consciousness. There is transformation in their life and their progress in their life. So I would humbly request everybody please join and on Saturday and to talk to the people and distribute books and kirtan and likes that. So we'll also distribute prasadam and all those things. So humbly requesting. So don't forget. It's starting in the afternoon. Actual time is 1 to 8, but we should be there early to set up and all those things, right? Okay, so thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, the fast breaking time is between 6 and 10. 8 to 10:49 a.m. Fast breaking time, 6:48 to 10:59 a.m. No, 6:58 to 10:49 a.m. And also tomorrow is an auspicious day of disappearance day of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami and disappearance day of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So both are the 6 Goswamis, and that Raghunath Das Goswami and 7 Goswamis. No, 6 Goswamis, yeah. And Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. I mean, always I confuse the 7th Goswami, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Yeah, so please join. And also Sunday, the Kartik is starting. And, some mentioned that we all can observe Kartik. This is 1 month, is very auspicious month of Lord Damodara. So please try to do as much as possible. Thank you so much. And I would also humbly request to stay for the book distribution call and we can discuss. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhasya. Kripa sindubhya evacha padidana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And the Lord Vaishnavrinda ki. Gaura Premana. Hari Hari.
Hari Hari. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Akhilesh Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Jai. Okay, so we'll start our book distribution called Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanwad Pranam, everybody. Hari Bol. Thanks for joining. I will start our weekly book distribution call. So, like Prabhuji was mentioning, we have programs coming up this weekend, Saturday. There's the Shara festival, and then ongoing is the Damodar Puja, Damodar month. So we have devotees who have already requested pujas in their home. So a lot of services, a lot of activities going on. So we want to talk about that also in this call. So let's want to talk about the program. Like Prabhuji mentioned, it's from 1 to 8, but we need devotees before that because there are services lined up. We need set up devotees set the stall and also, bring the books onto the premises. And as we go on, during the program, we want devotees to meet and greet visitors in the festival, talk about Krishna consciousness, and distribute books. Participate in other activities like distributing prasadam, counting Lakshmi, helping other devotees, also taking orders for the books and paintings, and other wrapping services. So there's good amount of work and services which we need devotees for. And I request everybody to please participate. There's no effective way to spread Krishna consciousness than book distribution, and this is one of the rare occasions when we have devotees coming up, and we can, for this special occasion of the Shara, we can spread Krishna consciousness. So humbly requesting everybody to please participate. And then also we have programs in devotees house. I think 7-8 devotees have already signed up for weekend programs. So that's also ongoing. We'll be distributing books. We will be seeing new faces. So we want to distribute books to them also. So a wonderful opportunity again. And then Gita Marathon is going to be coming also. So that's another planning we have in agenda, which we will also discuss in forthcoming meetings. So that's the agenda, Prabhuji, for now, what we have.
Yeah, wonderful. So let's plan for this Saturday. That's most immediate thing. So we have a store. It's confirmed, and they will be having a booth. So then, so probably I think we need to get our frames, right? We need to get all the books, like varieties of books, children books, and maybe some gift shop like jabba bags and the beads or something like that. So probably maybe we can load everything on this Saturday morning, and then we can go over there and then we can unload and set it up. I have some people coming to my home 10 o'clock. I'll see I can postpone that. So yeah, once that is done, then we are good to go for the distribution. So we'll also request everybody and send that out to all our WhatsApp groups and call out people. Actually, I also talked to Achintya Manohar Prabhu, and Prabhuji will be there, and talked to a few devotees. They'll be there too. But we need to make sure that at least we cover because of when there are a lot of devotees, then we can talk to more people,
Right, bro. We definitely need to talk to people who cannot attend the call, reach out to them, people we know, could be available and be very effective for distributing books. Yeah. So yes, that's the plan. I think Gaurangi Nita Mataji was to join. She's probably busy, so she also knows about it.
Yeah. So
what time we are planning Saturday, Ravi? Because I may be working on Saturday half a day. So, what time are you planning, Prabhu, for Saturday?
Saturday, probably we should be after the Mangalarati program, after 9 o'clock, we should start to, load everything in the van, and then we should go there. I mean, from temple, it's maybe like 15 minutes,
Good.
So then it'll be like if you reach there at least by 10:30 or 11, then we can start to arrange the table and the booth nicely, all this. frames and beautiful places where we can put nicely. So at least we should reach there by 11, so that we can unload and we can put up everything and we can bring the car and park somewhere other side. So this way we would be ready, and so at least when I would see at least 3-4 devotees we need in the morning. So Ravi Prabhuji is also there. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, maybe away. Hare Krishna Ravi Prabhu. Prabhuji is always there to help, in wonderful services at the temple for distribution and so nicely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll check with Ravi Prabhu.
So check with Ravi Prabhu and see that we can get some help. Yeah, I mean there is Jagadish Sinha Prabhu is there,
Mhm.
Ashish Karuna Prabhu is there, and yeah, Nitilila Gaurangi Mataji, Kunal Prabhu, and the devotees. Yeah. So yeah. So actually, we need a lot of devotees from 1 o'clock onwards. There'll be a lot of people will be coming there. It's a kind of a mela. Yeah. Okay, I think so. Yeah, I'll be there in the temple morning. So
I will be also there, Prabhuji.
yeah.
So Sandeep Prabhu, what time can you start?
Prabhuji, I have, I think probably after 12:30, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah, if
So
nothing
you
goes
can,
well, so probably we have a test BCP failure. So probably after that, I should be done by 12:30. And I can be
okay.
meet you by any time after 12:30. I should be there by 12:31. Then I'm available entire day, Prabhuji. And if you
Okay,
need
no,
help
good.
on
Thank you.
Friday, yeah, if you need help on Friday, if you want to do some loading on Friday, we can come on Friday evening also. I'm available.
No, I think there will be devotees in the temple on Saturday in the
Yeah.
morning.
Okay.
So I can take their help, but definitely you be there at the premises, and the park, and we need you there. Sooner you can come, the better it is. You can set it up.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that's fine. And then you're available, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, that's good. And then I'll check with other devotees because when we have devotees, we can work in shifts also. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll try to arrange that. Yeah, when there's devotees also who also show up at the Mela, and they're also there. A lot of time people, they don't know the availability, but then they do want to come, and then they come and then they participate. So we have devotees like those also coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, the main thing is actually